Women are seriously ready for emotionally intelligent men.
Okay, let's talk about what emotional intelligence comes with before we even get into this conversation, okay? We're talking about you wanting a man who is tolerant, who regulates his emotions, who also knows how to manage your emotions. But you're also talking about a man who knows how to navigate his sensitivities and everything else when it comes to that. But you have to consider that an emotionally intelligent man is good at cutting people off when he sees that your sensitivities bring too much reactivity. Ooh. When he sees that you cannot regulate your emotions. When he sees that you have a low tolerance. This type of man that you are asking for is a man who will walk you out the door in a heartbeat. If he feels like you are disrupting his peace. If he feels like there's any level of disrespect, because there's a lot that comes with emotional intelligence. So if you asking for that, you got to come with the same level of emotional intelligence as well. Okay? That comes with a number of factors. So if you are a woman who knows that even though you may be sensitive to certain things like criticism, rejection, because you're not always going to be accepted. Sometimes he's going to bounce back, and sometimes he's going to say, I don't agree with your opinion. Sometimes he's going to say, I don't like those thoughts. Sometimes he's going to say, I don't like the way you speak to me. If you're not ready for that, don't be asking for an intelligent man.
Yeah! Yo, what up? It's the Fresh Leftovers Radio Show, man. We are back, man. We got Rose and Rose in the building. We got Yana Sheree in the building.
Yeah.
We got Jess the Prophetess in the building. Who else we got? Ebony Ali in the building. Notice I named all the ladies first.
Don't forget Selena. And forgot me.
Don't forget Selena. Lena Bonita in the building.
No.
DJ B for you out. What up, man? All right.
Let's unpack this.
This was a good topic. All right. So if you're just now tuning in.
First of all.
That was a great topic.
I was like, I saw this on Instagram. I was like, yo, what you think about this?
Let me ask our guest hosts. Let's ask the ladies. Ladies, do you feel like women are, based off what she explained, do you feel like, women and are we going in general or just?
Do we feel like women are emotionally intelligent?
No, I did not say that.
Are they really ready for emotional?
No. She said, are they
emotionally intelligent? That was
no. Are they ready for a emotionally intelligent man? That was the question.
Oh, okay. Repeat that one more time.
Okay. So. Rose,
answer this question.
Rose, come on now, Rose. All right, do you feel like women are ready for an emotionally intelligent man based off what she explained?
I just want to say that, first of all, I 1000% agree with her. Everything that she said.
Oh, that's new.
Yeah. Why would that be new? One thing I'm going to do is align with the truth, okay?
Facts.
So I feel like everything that she said was spot on. Mm-hmm. I feel like it was what we needed to hear, to be honest. I thought it was a sober conversation. So here's my perspective on this. I feel like majority of women are not ready.
Why?
For an emotionally intelligent man.
Why you say that?
So the part that she talked about, where she talked about women's ability to accept criticism, women's ability to
get the bombs ready. Go ahead.
No, truly, to be subject to hearing a man.
My God!
Give you the same feedback that you're giving him. We have a lot of we're a very sensitive culture, period. But I think women especially are extremely sensitive. And I think that sensitivity is necessary in certain situations, but I also think in others it makes us so hyper emotional that we cannot receive honest feedback from our partners. It makes them uncomfortable to tell us anything. Mm-hmm. And so then we're like, there's no room for honesty. So I think most men are in a relationship where they are constantly being criticized and rarely dishing out the criticism. Like that's majority of relationships that I know. I rarely get my guy friends come to me being, she's I feel like majority of the time it's women ready to criticize everything. And I think men have given up. Honestly, a lot of men have just given up and just become lackadaisical about giving that feedback because they don't want they settle in. Yeah, they settle in, and they just don't want the difficulty of having to deal with, you know what I'm saying? The tears and all the show you about to put on because you can't face yourself. And the reality is, if you can't look back at yourself and be like, you know what? all these things, my childhood experiences, my trauma, who I am now, all of that, if you can't be accountable to your character, and you can't be accountable to who you are and your lack of emotional sensitivity, you should not be asking for a man to have that. Period.
Yana.
I 1000% agree.
Yana, how you feel?
I agree with Rose.
Oh,
It's
shoot.
like you gotta be. It's growth, you know, because like you can't ask for something that you're not willing to do for the other person as well. You know what I mean? So it's like that's tough, especially for this generation. I feel like a lot of women, they want it their way, and anything that bounces back off of that is like, oh no. Get in the back of the line. Next person, you know what I mean? So it's like it takes growth, maturity, yeah.
And then it becomes. Then I feel like it also gets hidden under. Well, these are my standards and expectations, and you're not meeting it. So
My God.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just move on to the next one. And it's just like you're not realizing that you're refusing personal development. That it don't matter who you end up with. You're gonna have to run into that wall. You could leave me tomorrow. Okay, cool. Guess what? You're gonna run into the same thing, just a different face, because you have to face you. And I feel like a lot of times, yeah. And deflection too. Oh my goodness, deflection is a big one.
Yeah, and I think majority of that is because women are not ready to have the mirror put up to them. Like, honestly, if we're talking about kingdom relationships, like I don't know about y'all. I don't be dating for fun, for games. It's not using vibes over here. I'm dating to marry. And I believe marriage is a mirror. So if you're dating a partner and that person is not mirroring to you your own rejection, your own abandonment, your own abuse, your own neglect, your lack of accountability, if that person isn't showing you yourself, then are you really in a relationship that's bound for marriage? What's the point?
How do you know when that mirror is being held up?
You saying how?
Because
what?
because you're gonna feel that pain on the inside when they start to call out the flaws in you, when they start to say, hey, let me start picking at your brokenness and start putting a display to your brokenness, not in a way to hurt you,
Right.
but in a way to say, we have to deal with this thing that has been on the inside of you probably since childhood.
Facts.
And I feel like if we're putting men up to this godly standard of you have to be this man that is a leader of my home and the priest of my house, and you got to do this and you got to do that. I'm talking about in kingdom marriage. I'm talking about Christian marriage and Christian dating and relationships. Then I feel like as Christian women, we have to be held up to the same standard and accountability in ourselves. And I think that takes a level of emotional maturity and emotional intelligence.
But don't you think a lot of that gets missed because of the lack of, I'm gonna just use child development or the reflection, like parents. The lack of parents actually showing, displaying that kind of things as a child growing up.
For sure. But I feel like at what point do we stop blaming where we grew up and decide to take accountability for who we're going to become?
I always
at a certain point.
I always heard. I think I heard this one time that trauma is not your fault, but healing is.
It's your responsibility.
It's your responsibility.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I always tell this, and I'll forever say this. I always paint this picture of like puzzles, right?
Yeah.
Like you can have 1,000 puzzle piece. I got 1,000 puzzle pieces, right?
Yeah.
And you don't got the box as a reference. You don't got nothing that. It's just a bunch of broken pieces. And a lot of times I feel like we're giving each other this bag of broken pieces to say, hey, love. Like, love this. Like, well, what does this look like? How am I supposed to love this when I don't even have a box as a reference? What your parents was like? Like, you know what I'm saying? What kind of household did you grow up in? What is, like, that's a good reference point. That's the box.
Yeah.
What does the box look like? I don't even know your parents. Like, you know what I mean? Hey, love this. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, and then he has his broken pieces that he's telling you to love. And then when y'all come together, there's a brand new 1,000 pieces y'all got to put together. And it's just like, oh, that's a recipe for that disaster. And I always say, I feel like it's always good to do the healing. You know what I'm saying? Therapy, deep, like we don't even sometimes want to sit down with ourselves to even say like, yo, why can't I not sit down? I realized something about myself recently, right? Because God, it's like, yo, I always, like, even when I'm by myself, I always got a podcast going or I got some music going. Like, it was like, yo, when are you going to just sit in silence and just listen for my voice?
That's what I did when I came here. I was in silence. It's better.
Yeah.
Or you slow down. You stop doing stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta reflect. I think I've been married for 10 years, bro. Like that mirror.
Come on, married folks, stand up. Married folks, stand up. Yeah.
10 years in the game, man.
here.
And I must say that
Big stepper.
it was some things that even in the very beginning before that, like even like when I say growing up that I didn't know, it was that some things that were, you know, I didn't know I had an issue with until marriage counseling. And I was like jealous of my wife because she grew up in this, you know, I ain't gonna say the perfect, but that ideal
two-parent household.
Household. They love God. They taught them about it. And I had a slick jealousy about it because when we were trying to do our family tree, she had an endless tree. And I was like, yeah, I had to stop. And there were some other things, and like she showed me, I had to grow so much. Like patience was, I thought I was a patient person. That was not. I was definitely not a patient person. What's the thing I said I was dealing with? Passive aggressiveness. I never thought I had passive aggressiveness for years. But my mentor one day told me, and I was like, "Are you?" He broke it down to me and was telling me, "It's like, yo, we both like that." I was like, "For real?" And he told me that. And I admitted it. I looked it up, and then my wife was so happy. Yeah. She started bringing up YouTube videos about passive aggressiveness. And,
she waited to the right time. She was like, as a matter of fact.
She had it saved. She had it saved.
She airdropped them a whole playlist. Baby, your airdrop on.
She put it up on the TV. Just look it up on the, hey, look at this. I want you to look at this video. I was like, all right, I'll look at it, but what is this about? And they said, just watch. And I was like, all right, cool, no problem. And that's when it happened. I was like, and from that form, I just learned as you may I've wanted to be married for like so long, so I didn't understand what that looked like.
Yeah.
And I got scared when I was telling Legacy, I got scared before listening to this pastor talk about marriage and the weight of the responsibility that as a man I will not have to have. And it's not nothing to take lightly.
Nope.
Relationship, especially for men, God holds us to a certain accountability that for the most part we're responsible for ourselves. We never become responsible for this woman. Then if we have children, we have responsibility for them, and it's so much. And now we got to watch them grow up in the natural. We got to take care of them spiritually. We got to make them understand. Like it's a lot of things that I don't think people understand about it.
Yeah,
and as believers, a covenant is between you, God, and that your spouse, right? And I think it's super important to understand what that is. It's not supposed to be broken.
Jesus.
It's not. But we break it to take it so loosely.
That's what it is.
And that's why you need to know before you get married who you're dealing with. Because it's supposed to be to death do you part. At least that's what you said at the altar.
I met a couple that was married for 50 years, and I asked them, I was like, the whole time? That was my first question. Like, the whole time? I was like, the whole time?
That could be asking the whole time. The whole time? You never take a break?
Nah, I got a comedy bit I'm working on. This ain't gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
But I think tied to because you said so many good things. So first of all, we just want to honor you guys, black men, for what it takes. Because both of y'all, literally, I am very proud. I think all of us as your sisters in this room can acknowledge like just the work that it takes to be in marriage. Like people have become so familiar with marriage as culture defines, but to be black Christian men on fire for God, trying to, with all the things that are so much perversion, so much lust, so much options out here, for y'all to really stay committed and be down and make a decision to really, like I said earlier, be the priest of your home. That's a lot of weight. And we don't take it lightly that y'all are doing this. And it's countercultural to do what y'all are doing. It's countercultural to pursue kingdom marriage for men and women. But when I see black men doing it, honey, Atlanta's a different place. Okay, please. So my God, now we really honor you guys. It's a really big deal, and everything you said, bro. Like I think a lot of men will resonate with that. That weight is holding men back, and it's making them so fearful of pursuing marriage. But I think it helps to hear it from y'all.
And I think it's not only just the weight. I think it's I'm gonna tread lightly on this. Well, no, I'm not actually. I'm not. I've never said that in my life. Yeah. But I think it's more of the it not being understood.
Yeah, that's what.
You said by your counterpart. Period.
What not being understood?
The weight. Like
your weight.
Yes. Like you think because you have kids and you push them out and you got a uterus and you have them cycle every month and it's oh my God, you got it so much harder. You don't. Because guess what? At the end of the day, when God come knocking or God pull up to the garden, he ain't asking for you. Adam, where you at? You see what I'm saying? When Eve ate the apple, nothing happened. When Adam bit it, everything blew up from there. There's a different type of, you know what I'm saying? And I was talking to my wife the other day, and I was saying to her, I was just like, yo, oh man, we gotta go. I was saying to her, I was just like, yo, you know, the Bible says for women to, you know, what's the word that everybody use? Submit. But the Bible tells men to lay their life down like Christ did. That's a totally, I gotta die for this whole ship. Just like how Christ died.
Thought we was going left, y'all.
You know what I'm saying? I said ship. I cleaned it up. But you see what I'm saying? Like there's a big difference between the two, and I feel like a lot of times because men don't feel like that's going to be understood, and let's be honest, women don't care to understand either. I got it so hard, and okay, cool. Well then I'm just gonna. I don't have a safe place to speak about this.
Jesus.
Then what?
And it's not, look. And
we gotta go.
I know. I just want to say,
wrap us up.
It's not for you to try to understand and level with us. Just know that it exists, and that's it.
Just acknowledge that
it exists, and we understand. I'm not trying to take anything away from a woman, and like I was raised by women for the most part. Like I understand. However, like I've told my mother this. There's nothing you could have done to fill the role of a man, and you can't. It never will happen. Come on now. And I got into an argument one time with a girl on Facebook for saying Happy Father's Day. Yeah, she was upset about that. I'm gonna leave it at that, bro.
You told her Happy Father's Day?
No, I said y'all shouldn't be saying that to each other.
Oh, absolutely not. All right, y'all. We got more. The Fresh Leftovers Radio Show when we come back, so y'all keep it locked.